Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk about a tier list I'm thinking. In my opinion, so please do not go angry at me because this is in my opinion. You can just do anything you want. Magmax, B tier. The reason Magmax is a B tier is sometimes you'll go too fast with his flow that if you try to harden, there's probably just a chance you're either going to die like 2 seconds because of a draining aura, well, 1 second, or you're just gonna die because you forgot how to time it. Moving on, now we have Rhyme. Honestly, A tier. He's very Rhyme is very good because especially that you can stall enemies, which would also include stalling how how harm how their harmless status is. So you just stalled for an extra 2 seconds. But there's another hero that would make it an S tier. Morph, also A tier. Morph is a very good hero to use because depending on the enemy how it will depend on the way you would go through your strategy. So if it's a big boy, you'll probably just use reverse so that they can revive you. Do note that one of the heroes are literally going to throw your run if not done properly. If there's the one ability from this Aurora. So I've just talked about this for Rhyme, also A tier. With Rhyme and Aurora, I would say that you are now freezing enemies permanently, and then you can break through the enemy wall. And now it would be an S tier, but for reasons it's just an A tier. Necro, C tier. Because, what are the chances you're going to die if you're already great at dodging? And if you have a very terrible teammate, then reanimate exists, but there are just some chances you're going to use it right away. Brute, S tier. S tier because you can stomp on the enemies, and with friends, you're literally teleporting your teammates back to you. So if they accidentally turned on sticky keys, they're just chilling with you. Nexus, S tier because there's also a bug with some passive abilities that allow you to do abilities you probably wouldn't be able to do if you didn't have negative energy, like Magno's ability, which Nexus and Magno, no, it was a different one. It was this. Sorry, I know, I can't code to Send! It was Send! Yeah, Send will really need help here if... Oh, right. You'll still need the 40 energy, though, for Send. Moving on, Shade is a B tier. The reasons... Actually, no. Shade is also an A tier. Shade is very good, especially when the ball could be huge, and if you're good at timing it, or if the vengeance ball gets stuck, you can get 2. 3 is possible. Just a note. The Euclid. I really liked trolling with this with Cybot because there was the one bug that would be able to slow down servers too much that it got patched. S tier. Chrono. You can actually solo Chrono very well if you can time it. Also A tier. Reaper. B tier. Reaper. No, sorry. A tier. I'm sorry. Reaper is an A tier because you'll revive your friends, and since this is the new Reaper. It's pretty much old Reaper, so if you played a bunch of old Reaper, you'll know what I'm probably talking about. Ramesses. S tier. Free invulnerability. Just watch out for the toxic enemies. And you can latch onto your teammates and they get the invulnerability. Jolt. If you're planning on farming, this would be S tier, but it's a B tier. It's only going to make Necro feel a lot worse. Ghoul. C tier. Ghoul is able to solo haunted halls because the pumpkins will only target your shadow first, and if the enemies are harmless, there's also something silly I discovered with the teleporting enemies, which would cause them to be harmless for around 2 minutes. Send, this is who I was just talking about. S tier, because you can become invulnerability, but sadly it's moving down to a high A tier because your movement is just taking big steps. Jotun. B tier. If you ever learn how Jotun is great at breaking, or if you just want that slow, which is basically Aurora, but it's a shorter range and less powerful slow, you're not really going to survive much. Candy. C tier. You're only going to use Candy if you were to speedrun, or for fun if you didn't really like your team. You can just sugar rush the enemies, especially on Catastrophic Core, which is very trolly. And your friends won't really know what you're doing since you just block them off with the Candy. And if you're on mouse, it's kind of terrible for you because you won't be able to get used to 22 speed. Sorry. Anyways, Mirage, S tier. It's RAM, but you can latch onto enemies with invulnerability. And if you die, Viola's clone, talking about combos here right now. Viola's clone is able to revive you because you have shifted to their location. Boldrock, A on Omnis Occult and Omnis Occult Hard, but kind of a D tier. Doesn't really feel good for someone very small, since you can also make them small. So Boldrock is just kind of small for their size and not powerful. Glob, S tier. If you watched one of my videos that had the thumbnail of the Cybot and Glob, you can easily tell that this would help with every hero. Magno, S tier. You can leech because you just get to freely leech. Just don't make it obvious to your friends. You just gotta keep dodging. Ignis, A tier, there's nothing good about it. If you're soloing, the only time Ember is going to be good is if you're on the final area. Stella is an F tier. No, it's not an F tier. I got you guys. B tier. If you're destroying enemies, and if there was another Stella that accidentally pressed K or X, or the second ability, then you're probably just going to get a bunch of jump scare moments. So that's why. Viola, A tier, because you can solo magnetic monopole and dipole on hard as well. Sorry. Mortis, for old Mortis, when you're able to have 5 lives, it would be S tier, but since it's got reworked, it's an F tier. Sad, because it's just terrible. Eklund, A tier. There's nothing wrong with just reducing stats, because now you have the freezing enemies to go from 85% to 40. Hang on, let me do some intense math here. 42.5% slowing. So that's why Eklund is there. Demona, D tier. No, not D tier. C tier, because dashing is good, and this might reference a game that some of you may know. Setheno, S tier, but it's right in the middle of Rhyme and Morph here, because it used to be able, sadly, because of the rework, well, not rework, the nerf, and because of disabler auras being super powerful, that's why Setheno's in the A tier and not S tier this time. Factorb, S tier, you just give all your friends buffs, and if you're soloing, you can harm enemies for 3 seconds in a 140 radius by collecting an experience orb. Cybot, S tier, you get to copy any of the aura, sniper, ghost enemies, and there's nothing I should explain. Have fun out there, Kutsu and Kutsu family! I hope you're having a good day today. Good luck for some of the information that might seem helpful in the future. Goodbye!